We're going to take a look at Google Docs. Right now I'm inside my Gmail account and I click on Documents in the top left corner. And when that window opens up, I look over here in the left sidebar where it's got Docs and I click Create. I want to create a spreadsheet. Okay, the first thing I want to do is title the spreadsheet. And I'm just going to make up a title because I don't know what kind of spreadsheet you guys are going to do. But I'm going to say this is 2011 and it's, say, Sunday school attendance. Okay, and I'm going to click OK. And the top will change to this. The title will change. And now I'm going to put information in all these cells. I did that ahead of time so it wouldn't take up so much time. So what I've done is list Sundays in August and then Sundays in September in different classes, and I just made up numbers to put in the blanks. Okay, now my spreadsheet saves automatically as we're going. So this is what we have. We've got a spreadsheet with this information on it. Okay, now up at the top you see something called Insert a Chart. Well, if I click that, it will start to help me make a chart. Now, if that does not come up when you start to make a chart, then just highlight everything that you've got. Whoops, that was a terrible mistake. Okay, let me go from here to here, and I've highlighted everything, and now I click Chart. Okay, either way it'll come up. Okay, now it says what your range is, and that's the case. And you can say use row 1 as headers if you want to. Okay, and you can switch the rows and the columns just depending on how you want it to look. So if you were to click switch, then it would be done in a different way. Now they just show you an example chart. That's not the chart that you're going to choose, but they're just showing you where the headings would go. Okay, I'm going to unclick that, and I'm going to choose a column chart. Now these are tiny little skinny columns, but they'll be bigger on when we put them on a different page, or we could choose the bar chart like this. Okay, up at the top it just gives you some more possibilities for charts, and then you can customize it by changing colors and so on, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back here where it says Start, and I'm going to choose a column chart. Okay, now if I click this and click Insert, the chart will show up here, and then I click on the chart and you'll see a little drop down arrow in the top left corner, and I want to move it to its own sheet. So it's on its own sheet. Well, to me this doesn't give very useful information. You've got the Sundays here, and the Sundays are all inside the different Sunday school classes, so I don't think that helps very much. I'm going to click Edit Chart again, and I'm going to switch the rows and the columns, and now I'm going to click Update. Now at this point, to me it's a lot more readable. You've got the Sundays down at the bottom, and each of the colors is representing a class, so you've got that over to the right. So you could look at any one point and say, wow, the joint heirs, they've got more people every single time than anybody else. Wonder what's going on in there. Okay, and then you could look at another group and see where their attendance goes. But there are various types of charts that you could do. Now, if you want to have more than one person entering information, I'm going to click back to sheet 1 here. It doesn't matter which sheet I'm on at this point, but if you have someone else who's going to enter some information, you want to give them access so that they can put in numbers maybe for the next week. Then you click Share. Okay, and then you can add a person. Now this person does have to have a Gmail account because this is all Google stuff. Okay, so if you put in another person, and I'm just going to put, I'm going to put my school address here. Okay, that's not going to help because it's not Gmail. Sorry, I can't think of another Gmail person off the bat. Let's say I'm going to share it with Vicki Kinder. Okay, there we go, and I click Share and Save, and it will notify her that she can use this chart. I'm going to write her a little note here. let's see here, private, notify her, add a message, and I'm just going to say this is practice, Vicki, so just ignore it. But she will get an email in her Gmail account, and it will give her access to this document. Now, right now, we are the only two, Vicki and I, who can edit this document, and nobody else can even see it. Now, if I want to change that so that other people can see this information, I can click Change up here at the top. And I can say public on the web if I want to, or I could say anyone who has the link can access it, and they don't have to sign in. That means they don't have to have a Gmail account. Well, I'm going to click this one, okay? And I am not going to click this box at the bottom because I don't want to allow anyone to edit it. There may be times when you want to do something like that, but this is not the time. So I'm going to click anyone with a link, and I'm going to click Save. Now, you can see that anyone can view it, but they cannot edit it. I'm the owner, I can edit it. Vicki, I've shared it with, is an editor, she can edit. Now, this is a very long URL, and you don't want to send such a long URL to people. So I'm going to copy that URL, and I'm going to go to another tab, and I'm going to go to goo.gl. Click Return, and that is a Google URL Shortener site. So I'm going to paste in that long URL, and I'm going to click Shorten, and it will give me a short URL. If I don't like that one, then I choose a different one. I don't ever choose anything that's got an O or an I in it or an L, because to me those are confusing and it's very case sensitive. So I'm going to click until I see something I like. Okay, this is good. 8EE8P. Okay, now that URL will take anybody to it, to the spreadsheet, to look at it. Okay, now just to demonstrate that, I'm going to open a totally different browser here. Let me close things down. I'm going to open a totally different browser. This is Safari, and I'm not logged into my Gmail account on Safari. And I'm going to paste that URL, that short one, in here and click Return. Okay, now you can see that I am not signed in. Over here it says sign in, so you can tell I'm not signed in. And if I were to click on one of these and try to change that number, I cannot. All I'm doing is viewing it. And I can see also the chart. Now the chart may take just a moment to load, but that's okay. And then you can, the person can see the chart. So the viewer that you've shared it with does not have to have a Gmail account. Now, whenever, I'm going to go back to my original account, whenever I change something, let's see, I'm done here, change something on this sheet, say if the home builders, if I change them to where they had 100 people on a particular Sunday, in fact, they were on a roll. They had 100 people for a lot of Sundays, okay? And I were to click over to the chart, this is immediately reflected in the chart, okay? Now, I will go back over to Safari, and it is also reflected in Safari. So whoever enters that information is changing it for everybody, all the viewers, okay? Let's see if there's anything else that you need to know on that. If there's a different kind of chart that you want to do, just let me know and I can help you set up that type of chart on here. Google Docs can do a lot. It can't do everything exactly like Excel does. It's not as robust. However, it can do a lot. And you can also shrink your rows here by just double clicking between them, and your cursor becomes a little flat thing, I don't know what you call it, and then you just click it and you can shrink the rows. With Excel, you can do a whole bunch of these at once. I haven't experimented a whole lot with Google Docs on whether you can do a lot of columns at once or not as far as shrinking them, so you may want to experiment on that. Okay, if you have questions, let me know. My email address is CindyMC, that's CindyMC716 @gmail.com.